Never underestimate a woman with a tool belt. Let's check in on Wendy Russell's home renovation.
Holy cow. I just put a wall in my house. This is so cool. That was mostly on me, by the way. Just saying. My hard work here is done. We've just been going over the blueprints with my framer, and there's a few minor changes, but overall things are moving along. So let's go inside and take a look. Welcome to our living room. I know, very exciting. With the leaf and sawdust detail, amazing, super on trend. This whole back wall is going to be floor-to-ceiling windows, which I'm really excited about. And now I'm going to walk through where our peninsula is going to be in the kitchen. So this is the kitchen area, U-shaped, so peninsula back there, around the corner. It's going to be super simple because it's quite small, but we'll at least have enough room on the peninsula to be able to put some stools, have an eating area there, so that's going to be great. And then the bathroom, which is quite small, but thank goodness we have another one in the basement, so we will be able to live with each other because 2 bathrooms makes a happy home. We are using every square inch in here because this is still a small house. This is our giant laundry room. I know, it's gonna be amazing when it's done. And the den, home office situation. I'm really excited about this window that we're putting in. Now, we are so close to the neighbors that we're gonna have to install fire shutters, but that's great. It's gonna work. It's gonna save us a lot of money from instead of putting fire-rated windows. And of course, this is our bedroom. Humble, but it works. I'd love to say that work is happening around the clock, not quite, because there are definitely city bylaws around that, but soon enough, this is gonna be home sweet home.
Here is Miss Home Renovator herself, real estate investor Wendy Russell. First of all, put it here. What you are going through at home right now is incredible, and I know it's going to be the home of your dreams, but you got to get there.
Got to get there.
But it's amazing seeing you help put up the framing and all of that. We want to talk a little bit about what's happening behind the walls, because that's the stuff that you can't go shopping for, for the pretty things. No. But it's really important. The HVAC, the insulation. Yes. So let's start with HVAC, and you can explain to us what that means.
Right. Okay. So our producer Kate said, "Oh, are we at the sexy stuff yet?" And I was like, "No, we're still at the flannel pajama stage of things. We'll get to the lingerie like down the road because this is the not so pretty stuff." So yes, HVAC stands for heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, and it really is the bones of your house. It's what makes it tick and work properly. And I'm such a proponent after doing this house that invest in your HVAC system.
Really?
Because at the end of the day, it's gonna be there so much longer than any fancy marble countertop is gonna be in style, right? So really do that when you have the opportunity. So, our HVAC designer, and I get to work with a girl, my girl, April.
Pretty cool. Girl power all over the place.
Complete HVAC, she's amazing. So when you are hiring, and you need to hire a really good HVAC designer. You
hire an HVAC designer?
Not even kidding.
I didn't even know that existed.
I didn't either, I gotta be honest.
Okay, so what's happening in my house?
Yeah, so there's literally, it's mathematical calculations that go into how the whole house is gonna work efficiently, effectively. So. Okay. Anyways, so hire a good one. Hire one that's that you've got. They've got their credentials in terms of where they've been to school.
Yes.
That they've got a 1-year guarantee, and so a lot of them only give a 3-month guarantee. So get that in, and then your installers. Of course, there are a lot of fly-by-night installers too. So make sure that you're getting recommendations. If you've got. Go online because a lot of these websites now will give you good reviews and Better Business Bureau, all of that stuff. So
the point is find one.
Yes.
And then when you find one, here are some options for you.
Here's some things. So this is a zone damper. This actually helps regulate the heat and cooling when you have multiple units. Okay. So we spend a little more for this. I'm going to say this cost us. There's about 4 of them that are going in the house. you spend more doing that. There's about $4,000, but what that does is it's not going to have my tenant phoning me at 2 in the morning going, it's too cold in here, it's too hot in here. And I was like, just give them their own thermostat. And so this has to go in for a zone damper. So that's what that does.
Okay.
This is a fire damper, and this is critical when you have a multifamily home.
Okay.
Because the city wants to make sure that if there's a fire on one floor, it's not going to spread to another suite.
Got it.
Very important. Inside, I don't know if you can capture that little link in there. It's called a fusible link.
Oh,
yep,
no,
yep, that's perfect.
Yep.
Yeah, that will when the room gets to a certain temperature, like 165 Fahrenheit, I think 74 Celsius.
Yeah.
It melts. That melts and it closes, and that helps
contain.
Contain. It's not going to prevent the fire, but it is going to really slow it down in terms of the spread. So the fire department will be there.
To have this. This is being to code.
This is to code if you have a multi-family home.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, certainly you can put them in your house if you've, but this is a requirement for multifamily. And same with double drywall. So this is 5/8 fire-rated Type X drywall, and you have to put 2 layers on any ceiling that's separating units. And again, that helps slow down the spread of fire. So, so that's a requirement there.
Excellent.
Yes.
And when you're done, obviously rent from Wendy.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. She's done everything right.
Boy, I tell
She's
you,
done everything
this house is going to be,
right?
Tickety-boo.
Okay,
Tickety-boo.
let's talk about this scratchy stuff.
The scratchy stuff. The insulation. Okay, so each piece of insulation has an R value.
Okay.
And an R value stands for resistance. So resistance, so it measures how well insulation resists the flow of heat. So the higher the R value, the better effectiveness it is. So this giant guy here, this is an R40.
Okay.
Just like a super fluffy cloud. We put this in the ceiling because you can see how thick it is.
Yeah.
If you were to squish this into a wall, it actually
it doesn't work?
No, it doesn't work as well. It's ruining the effectiveness of it. So you can't squish it. You have to have a cavity that's actually 12 inches. So the ceiling did that. And our city inspector actually recommended R40 because our house is going to run more efficiently.
Okay.
So
R40 for your ceilings.
Okay. Yeah. If my bills are going down, rock on. That's good.
Yes.
Next one is R22, and this was for the walls. So any new walls that you're building, so a 2x6 stud, these go in between the 2x6 studs. The old section of our house that we kept, that we saw on that tape, they're only 2x4. So in that section, we actually had to spray insulation.
Oh, I see.
And because that will give the equivalent R value of one of these.
That.
Because you can't, you can't just like start ripping this apart. It just, or trying to squish it in. It just doesn't.
It doesn't work.
Doesn't happen.
Probably it's airflow and all of that. Like it shouldn't be squished like crazy. It needs to fit what it's supposed to fit.
Totally. You're totally right. And then we have, this is called Safe and Sound. And this is actually fireproofing and soundproofing insulation. So this goes in the interior partition walls. And it can go in the ceiling of the basement and the main floor. Okay. So not the top floor of the house, but the ceiling in the basement. And what that does is it's going to help dampen the sound and, again, resist fire.
That's important.
So that one's good. And then we have like about 6 or 7 types. And we have this little guy. So this was perfect for, this is a 1/2-inch rigid insulation. That goes sort of above the headers of windows and all the stuff that you can't get a thick insulation in for.
That's amazing.
So many things.
All things that we should know. Even if someone else is handling it, it's very good to know. We're going to head back to Wendy's home now to see the latest progress.
Yes. Well, it's been a while, but we finally now have windows, doors, and a roof. Very exciting. Come on in. All right, welcome to the second floor. Electricians here, hey, Mike? Finishing up some final touches on the wiring. And I want to show you these cool skylights that we put in. I love these skylights. They're super modern because they're a flat mount, but they've got blackout blinds on a remote control, which is going to be fantastic for our tenants. Super easy to operate. The reason we put the skylights in is to save some serious bucks. We could have put a window in here, but because we're so close to the neighbor's house, we needed to do fire-rated windows, which are somewhere between $6,000 and $7,000 a piece. So this was our compromise, and I think it works great. Huge changes in here. The insulation is in, it's nice and cozy. The furnace is on. None of the trades are complaining about how cold it is in here. So we had the old sections of the house sprayed with the spray foam, had to vacate for 2 days to let it air out properly. And the batt insulation is in all the new sections. Now, we've actually installed this ourselves. So all of the batt went in. It's a really easy job to do, and we saved ourselves $8 $1,000 doing it. And Fraser's here. He's doing our vapor barrier. He's our drywall guy. Once all the vapor barrier is up, I can call the city inspector. He'll come take a look. If all is well, we can start the drywall. Dare I say home stretch?
So excited for you. If you're in the middle of a renovation or considering a home reno, the best place to be is the GTA Home Reno Show. From February 15th to 18th at the International Center, you can be inspired, upgrade your tool skills, and get really good advice.